right, so we're live now, okay? So this is going to be the most chillest, most kickback conversation because we in the Lion team, we can just say whatever we want, do whatever we do. We in our own pride rock right now. So everyone, all the Lions watching, we have here the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Keith Custer, and he is one of the I call it OLs, and OL means original Lion. He was one of the first like maybe 200 people that joined this like a year or so ago. And back then we probably had 200 or 300 members, and now we're at 2.2 thousand and counting. So Keith, it's great to have you here. Thanks for joining.
Yeah, it's an absolute pleasure. You just feel the energy anytime you step into these groups, and just getting to even spend 20 minutes with you is something I won't pass up, because I know we've got some tremendous visions, and that's the first step in any journey, is to know where you're going. And it's something I enjoy every time I get to spend any minute with you, man.
Yeah, appreciate that, man. So I'd love to hear, like, originally, tell me, why did you join the Lion team? It's a Facebook group. Why did you join the Lion team originally?
Well, in my 38 years as of this weekend, I have learned I am as prideful as I am, and thinking that I can make all my own decisions. I have come to find out I'm an easily influenced person. And if I'm running with some people that are not positive and aren't doing things that are good for them and others, I'm likely to be affected by that. And so I've learned the hard way, and now I know better that I need to surround myself with positive, motivated, just encouraging people. That is your environment. That is your soil. And we can't wonder why we're not getting growth if we're putting ourselves in really negative soil. And that's something that I find, with the Lion team, when you go in there, you can just see it's just rich of all different sorts of nutrients and, and light and water and just things that we all need to grow. So it's almost like, why wouldn't you, come into this group if you want to grow? If you don't want to grow, that's fine. Go plant yourself in a desert, right?
Yeah.
But that's what I get out of this team, man. I love it. It's there's a lot of selfishness in me joining this team. I'm getting a lot out of it too. I hope other people get something from it, but let's keep it real. It helps me out a lot.
Man, that's really cool. You said it's like a fertile soil for positivity to kind of grow the tree of your power yourself.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Well, I was actually this book I'm reading right now. It had a really interesting take about how you can be raised in a perceived perfect environment. Actually, what they did is they made this biosphere out in the desert, and they had the deepest pockets possible on this budget. They had the smartest brains and scientists, biologists. Everybody that was on this team knew how to make the best biosphere. Soil was rich. They had the dew points, the humidity, everything was calculated. And these trees and all the vegetation was just growing very well. But for whatever reason, after about 5 years, these trees would get almost up, to their full height, but then they would just topple over. And these scientists are just scratching their head. They're like, what the hell is going on? This shouldn't happen. This is the perfect place for these things to grow. Why would these trees just fall over? And I was wondering too, there's no wind or anything in there. What would happen? Well, that was just it. There wasn't any wind. There wasn't any adversity to rock these trees back and forth to where they had to, their fibers would break and they would then be strengthened by that adversity. And, it's just a really interesting take now that we're talking about growth, getting to see, how good adversity can be as a catalyst to your growth. It's just really interesting. Something I've been digging on pretty hard for this last week. Ever since I saw that, I was like, okay, we need to actively seek that adversity, right? You want to be sharpened by the stone. The sharpening process isn't the funnest part, but it's absolutely necessary, right?
Wow.
And if we can't both be the iron and the grindstone for each other, then we're kind of setting ourselves up for failure. And that's what's so cool about having a group like this is, one day, you may be the sword and I'm the grindstone. And then next week, I may be the sword and you're my grindstone, but
Wow.
it's extremely important that we have that. And I'm salute you, Alan. Really, I just joined. You started it, so kudos to you.
I appreciate that. I really, really appreciate that, man. It's like for me, I was sick of feeling like I was the only positive person. I want to be positive and bold, like your dog. Your dog, like I want to be on camera. Look at me,
Uh-huh.
you
Yeah.
know. And I wanted that. So I really appreciate you acknowledging that. So you brought up adversity, a little bit there to create that tree. If you don't mind sharing, what's some adversities like that you've experienced?
Yeah. There's been so much soul searching. Whenever you start something that you really believe in, you're going to have doubt as soon as things don't start to take off. A friend of mine probably told me one of the most profound quotes that I've heard that wasn't like widely used. I'd never heard this in my whole life until he told me this about a year ago. And he said, Keith, you can never confuse agreement with commitment. It's
Mm.
really easy for people to agree with you on something, right?
Mhm.
I can tell you, hey, man, this homelessness or this suicide or mental illness, it's a bad thing, right? And you're probably going to say, yeah, I agree with you. It's bad. We need to fix it. But that's not, I didn't get a commitment out of you on that, right? And that was something that I really completely missed. My first year starting the business off, I was telling all sorts of people, hey, I want to go out and, try to make the world better, leave it better than you found it. That's something we all want to do. And people are like, yeah, great idea. You keep going, man. I got your back. And I'm like, cool. I've got all these people that got my back. But then you realize I wasn't getting commitment. And it was an
Wow.
awesome lesson that I needed to learn
Yeah.
is, we are a sum of our actions. We're not a sum of our words. Really, we can go out and say, hey, I'm a devout Christian. I'm an animal lover. I do this, this, and this. But if you die and they start going back and seeing that, you know what, you never made it to church. You never, dropped off any blankets. You never sheltered any, sick animals or whatever. Then
Mm.
you really weren't what you said you were. And
Yeah.
that's something that I've really been trying to get better at is, walking the talk because we can all
Mm.
talk it, but very few of us can walk it. And
Mm.
that's when you start to leave your legacy is it's not the trail that you're getting ready to go down. It's that trail that's behind you. That's all we can be judged on is our previous days, not what we plan to do. We all have good plans, but really who we are is way back that way.
Mm. 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 Y'all hearing this lion roar? I want you to leave a comment. If you hear him roaring, if you hear the roar in his voice, leave a comment down there. Say something because this man's out here telling the facts, man. I really love that agreement without commitment. Like people can tell you what you want to hear, but they do what they want to do. And if it's not doing an action that supports you, then that obviously, like they say, I'll show up at your soccer game, but if they don't show up, then it's a whole different thing. That's amazing, amazing words, man. Wise words and everything. So you're an entrepreneur. What made you want to get into entrepreneurship, work for yourself? Like what made you get into that?
You know, a lot. I can complain with the best of them. I'm not going to sit here and be like I'm one of those people that don't see something I don't like and speak about it because I do, and it's something that I want to work on and get better at.
Mm-hmm.
But I've kind of started to find that when you see something you don't like, to just go ahead and act on it, you get more from it.
Mm-hmm.
And that was something that I just kept on seeing things in the world every single night. Something bad happens on the news, or you drive through certain areas of town. For the last, I'm born and raised in KC. I've spent damn near 40 years in the city, and there's still areas of this city that look exactly like they did when I was 8, 9, 10 years old. And
Wow.
it's always been a problem. And I'm sitting here thinking, like, you know what? I've got to pass this world off to my kids. I'd love to be able to say I did something to help turn this area around. And
Mm-hmm.
eventually, once you start really uncovering problems and then you uncover a solution, what kind of person are you? If you know the answer to a problem
Mm-hmm.
and you don't do it, it's like, man, if your house was on fire, Alan, and I knew it and I didn't tell you, I couldn't live with myself.
Mm-hmm.
And I knew all I had to do was call 911 or turn on the hose. How do I get by without doing that? And that's I just really couldn't sleep at night. Sometimes you get those ideas where you're just laying in bed, you're like, I can fix this.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be tough. It's
Mm-hmm.
not going to be comfortable,
Mm-hmm.
but I know I can do it. And I
Mm-hmm.
don't know how long it's going to take me. And
Mm-hmm.
that's the thing, is sometimes you just have to focus on that next step, and then that next step and next step. Instead of looking 2 miles down the road, you're
Mm-hmm.
supposed to walk by faith and not by sight, because if we're looking at all these other sites, we're going to get discouraged. But eventually, what led me to doing this is really believing that I could, and secondly, that it needed to be done. And then at that point, it's like, you have to go.
Mm-hmm.
This is bigger than you,
Yeah.
bigger than me. This is something that we all need, to make sure it happens, regardless of who does it. Let the credit go out the window. Nobody needs to take credit. You can't take credit for goodwill. It's just something that we need to be doing.
Mm-hmm.
And once I got to that realization, there really wasn't much of a decision
That's
after that. I knew it's we got work to do.
yeah, yeah, yeah. You saw like an obvious problem, and so naturally you're like, you know what, I'm gonna come out with the solution for this problem. I think that's really, really like for the people that's looking into making a big impact on the world or be world changer, be a better person. Find where there's obvious problems that not many people is doing anything about that you can do something about. And when you find that problem, he's saying you can act on that. And now, Keith, so talk to me. Your purpose, your mission with the Ripple and everything. Give us that whole story. What is the obvious problem you're fixing? How are you fixing it? Where do you see it going? Just lay it on us.
Well, sometimes you don't. It doesn't matter if a problem is worth going after. It really doesn't matter who solves it. It just
Mm-hmm.
matters that it gets solved.
Mm-hmm.
And so,
Mm-hmm.
what the Ripple is about is really empowering these nonprofits that have been so compromised over COVID and just the sheer volume of nonprofits there are in the world. There's 13,000 nonprofits alone in Kansas City that are trying to feed and clothe and mentor and do all sorts of other wonderful things, but people just don't know about it. As I started kind of poking around the city and finding out these amazing causes, I would just feel so embarrassed. Once I was impressed by an organization, I would say, man, how long have you been in business? Because I've never heard of you, politely, but it was just the truth. And I said, oh, we've been in business for 30 years. And I'm like, are you kidding me? You're 5 miles down the road that I grew up on. And I just didn't know. And so I knew that there was a lot of other people like me, that wanted to help, but it's the whole, if they knew better, they would do better. We needed to help these nonprofits get their message out, get more funds going into their organization, but also not put any more strain on somebody who wants to help. If you don't have money, or you don't have time to volunteer, or there's a pandemic going on and you don't feel comfortable volunteering, that's not an indicator of the amount of goodwill in your heart, right? You
Mm-hmm.
can be broke and still want to help out people. But if we only give people those options to, or those cups to pour from, you can't pour from an empty cup. So we needed to give them an extra cup to pour from. So
Mm-hmm.
that's what the premise for the Ripple.net, the online marketplace, is for. Is so when people want to buy and sell things, and they don't necessarily need to put that $20 for their kid's old bicycle in their pocket, now they can say, you know what, that money's going to go to this church that I love, or this animal shelter, or
Mm-hmm.
this food bank. And we can take that one act of kindness, and hence the name, ripple it out.
Mm-hmm.
And now we don't have to only look for financial or time to give from. Now we can give from things that we've already been blessed by, because I feel like our blessings are not meant to stop after one person. They're supposed to then move on.
Mm-hmm.
The God's love isn't designed to shine on us, it's designed to shine through us, like a prism, right? Like that light hits you and it should go through you, right? And that's something that I really feel very proud about, is that this allows us to do that. It allows us to not only to bless others, but to be blessed by others in the same platform.
Mm-hmm.
And I hope I'm not rambling, Alan. I feel like
Oh
I'm
no,
kind of
bro,
going
you
down a few
preaching
different
facts,
paths here.
bro. You preaching facts. Don't apologize for preaching facts, bro. This is the Lion team. They need to hear
Yes.
this. This is good. Listen, bro, this is A1 stuff. I love what you said that God's love is not shining to us, it's shining through us as a prism out to others. And you found your way and you said it's the ripple.net. So I want anyone that's watching this, please, to get more information on Ripple, message Keith directly. You know, I mean, I can't post links in the video because it like affects the algorithm or whatever. Message Keith directly to really get more on the Ripple, what he's about in regards to all of that. You know, and even one question I had. So let's say someone's like an everyday consumer, like a lion. What would it like for a lion to like work with you or benefit from the Ripple? Tell me the process of being a lion and going through that.
So the only prerequisite for working with the Ripple is
Mm-hmm.
that you have to be helping out other people or other lions. So almost something that is kind of synonymous from birth. You take care of the pride, right? That is the most important thing, is that they are all hunting or procreating or doing something to ensure the strength of that pride.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I do feel like society is in desperate need of that mentality, to
Mm-hmm.
where everybody starts looking out for each other, and then suddenly we have 100 eyes watching our back instead of just our own.
Mm-hmm.
Me against the world, versus, you know, us against the world. Your odds are a lot better with us, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's what we need, and that's what I feel like, we can provide with the Ripple. So to answer your question, if any lions are looking to get involved, I just ask them to not look down and in to solve their problems.
Mm-hmm.
Look up and out and
Mm-hmm.
see this pride that we've got, because when nonprofits and small businesses team up, you can look into it is a very quick Google search to see how that is synergizing right now. People are looking towards brands that have some sort of a corporate social responsibility. When all the prices are comparable with the roofers or the maintenance guys or whoever, people will make decisions on, a portion of their proceeds goes to help out this amazing cause. That could be the decision maker.
Mm-hmm.
So if there's any lions in the pride that maybe have a small business, if they're looking to just um, improve their brand and let people know what they're about, and they're more than just profits.
Mm-hmm.
There's actual values behind their profits. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? I'm not talking dollar signs values. I'm talking like internal values. We want to go out and do something to help others. We can use my site and put coupons on it for professional services. So let's say somebody has a consulting um, business. They have a package that they value at $1,000. They could sell a coupon for their professional service for, say, $100 that benefits XYZ charity. They're
Mm-hmm.
not giving their service away.
Mm-hmm.
They're just discounting it contingent on somebody making a donation. So
Mm-hmm.
now somebody gets a great deal in the community, a small business gets exposure and also gets known as a small business that cares. And
Mm-hmm.
then we also bless a nonprofit with exposure and a donation. So
Mm-hmm.
now, because we took this pride mentality and lifting everybody up, we've all gotten stronger or gotten a deal. So that's something that I'm really looking to team up with people that are looking to put themselves second. If we take care of everybody else first, then we have a much stronger support system, and it'll compound and pay dividends. So anybody that owns their business that is looking to do um, something powerful with their brand beyond dollars, that's exactly who I need to be working with.
That's amazing. So someone that maybe has a business, like say for example, someone does Reiki, they can have like they go to you and they say, hey, you put my service on there, and they have a discounted price, and then a portion of the proceeds go to a charity.
Yes.
So the lion is getting exposure with their business, and you get to help people by getting charity dollars to go to the charity because a portion of the proceeds go to the charity.
Yeah, and it's free. It's similar to what Groupon, Home Advisor, Angie's List, those sorts of coupons that you would do that you would have to pay to do.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not charging small businesses to do this. As long as they're helping out in the community, the way our business model works is it helps out my brand, it helps out the community, it helps out the small business, and it also helps out the charity.
Yeah.
And it's so interesting how when we set up things that way, we all rise. The high tides rise all ships.
Yep.
We just have to create that high tide.
Yep. Yep. So that's it. We can literally, call it that. If you're a business owner, Lion, if you're a business owner, or if you know someone's a business owner, or you own your service, anything like that at all, contact him. You get some free exposure, and you get to help a nonprofit as well. And Keith, have you always been so motivational, man? Like this, where is this coming from? Like we talk all the time, but you feeling it today, man.
Well, there should really only be two speeds. You either stop or you go. And there's no reason to do anything you're not passionate about. If you're not passionate about something, why are you doing it? Let somebody else who is passionate about those things go do that. You're not doing anybody any service if you're doing something that you love. And right now, Alan, I'm in my element, man. This is what I love to do. Now, if we were, talking about, yard maintenance, I might be dozing off right now because I don't care about that. I mean, I got a decent yard because I got to keep up with the Joneses, but you know what I'm saying? Like, I care about this. That's why you should never fake emotions, and every once in a while you might have to just to, be nice, but passion, you should never try to fake. And it's just, do what you love, and you don't have to fake it.
So Lions, you hear that? Do what you love. You don't have to fake it. Passion, you don't have to fake. You just live it. So if you're faking your emotions, or you're faking like you're doing good, and you're pushing, I have a buddy named Brad Hill. He says you can only do so many Jedi mind tricks on yourself to keep going until eventually it wears off. They're saying just align yourself with that, man. So that's absolutely amazing. So we're at our 20-minute mark. I want to say, Lions, message Keith. Hit him up, connect with him. He's a guy, he is here, whether it's for his advice, his motivation, or more info on a Ripple, whatever it is, he's available resource for you guys. He's one of the OLs, one of the original Lions up in there. And that's what I have. Anything you have to say at all, Keith? Any closing words?
Nailed it, man. We're just, we're stronger together. So I think we're about 2,200 Lions right now.
Yeah.
Let's all lean into each other. I mean, there is no joke. There is strength in numbers. Just be about it. Whatever you're doing, we won't have everything that we want. We'll have everything that we are. We will become everything that we are inside. So, stop wanting to go make it happen. Believe that we can do it. There's no shame in leaning into a group and into asking for help. So if I can be help to anybody, that's what I'm here for. So, but beyond that, man, kudos to you, kudos to the team. I'm happy to have some Lions that got my back.
Hey, we all got your back. We got your back. I'm calling it, this year, 10,000 Lions, man, 10,000 Lions, international, going crazy, hit that invite button, invite your friends, I got my whole family in the Lion team. I mean, they don't all participate, but I just invited my whole family. I'm like, you're my family. You're all Lions, and my dad. You guys know Mufasa. So thanks for inviting so many Lions. We got a good squad here. 10,000 this year. Let's get it. With that being said, Simba, the Lion, Keith Custer, out.